We are not affiliated.
You sure?
For legal reasons, yeah. It's always going to be no.
What's
He
up,
said, "Are you sure?"
Barflies? Where am I looking? Am I looking there? Okay.
Yeah.
What's up, Barflies? It's I, hailing from the land of Sake, Shinobi, and Samurai. The boy is Gazella Persona 5. Ain't no other name but this to go by. It's your boy, J-Hawk. And since I'm in the middle, I'm going to just toss it up. Whoever wants it can catch it.
Oh, he caught it.
Oh.
That is a power coin of the red Power Ranger.
Ooh.
Okay.
Mastodon is the black Power Ranger.
Mm-hmm.
Triceratops is the blue one. Leprechaun is the green one. That's not true. But what you need to know, but what you need to know is that we in here. My name is Kenny Sparks. I'm here to provide laughs and commentary. And on my right side, all the way over yonder,
It's the grimmest variant himself.
Whoa.
Big Dan. Bro, Dan, I'm coming to you live from the 215, your comic book connoisseur, your sommelier of sci-fi and superheroes, here to welcome you to the Blerd Bar. How you doing? Boy, how you been?
I'm great, actually. Yeah, I'm doing pretty well.
I've been good. I've been doing what I can.
That's good.
When I can.
That's good.
Seen a lot of movies recently.
Sounds expensive.
No, some were, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In the theater, and others were on the streaming. I saw The Killers with the Michael Fassbender joint.
Okay.
Really enjoyed that. Watched that 2 o'clock in the morning this morning, technically. And that was pretty good. So, yeah. Also saw Next Goal Wins, the new Taika Waititi film.
I'm looking forward to that when it streams. That's all I can say about that. Because it's Taika Waititi. I take that in stride.
Yeah.
It's not
But I thought
Academy
you liked
Award
him.
winning.
It's
I love
a
watching his
streamable.
comedy. Yeah.
It's just streamable.
I like his comedy, but I also take it in stride. I don't
He's
think
leaning a little bit too much into his comedy these days. But, you know.
shrooms will do that, I guess.
I heard Our Flag Means Death isn't that great, even though it got a second season.
Oh, I've heard that people really like it.
I think some people like there's fans for everything.
Exactly.
And I think while I can't rank it as far as pirate shows go, because I don't have enough pirate shows in my repertoire.
Baka.
Yeah. What have I been doing? I've been catching up on comics.
Yeah.
I'm almost fully caught up.
On what?
Almost everything. Wonder Woman, not bad.
Okay.
Wonder
Who's
Woman,
writing that these days?
I had a hot take about Wonder Woman, but I'll say that for the next if I'm bugging.
Is Thomas
Okay.
King writing that?
No.
Okay.
I forget. Don't quote me right now. Please don't quote me. But it's interesting. She's currently outlawed. All Amazonians are outlawed at the moment.
Oh.
So
Outlaw from...
America.
Okay.
So it's
Of course.
Yeah.
That
Okay.
tracks.
so like all the villains are misogynists.
Ah.
Like all the antagonists are also misogynist.
Ah.
So it's
But
take
for
that in stride.
for a little bit of balance, though, you could always be like, no, I don't have a problem with y'all women. I just don't like y'all niggas. Like, that's
Just like
usually the cure.
Amazonians.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Okay.
Nah, like they go out of their way to use the B word and the it's like,
Well, if a bunch of Amazons came over here and people were they're causing,
Yeah.
there'd be a contention. It'd be like, these people of female descent.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
It gets worse no matter how you frame it. And then on the Marvel side of things, I'm trying to keep up with the Fall of X. This is going on for way too long.
It's taking a long time to hit the floor.
Way too long. Because they wanted to do a whole bunch of other like spin-off titles. So there's Uncanny Spider-Man, which is essentially Nightcrawler in an old Spider-Man suit.
But no,
Dark
wasn't Nightcrawler?
X-Men.
Nightcrawler did become Spider-Man at some point, right?
No.
Did Nightcrawler? He did something. What did he become? It's one of those things where like everybody becomes like that character.
Like a what if?
Yeah, and like Nightcrawler did something, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
At this point,
They got
just
Dark
like
X-Men. They got
throwing dice.
Yeah.
Whatever it lands on.
X-Men Red. That's them on Mars.
The first iteration of that was dope.
It was when they brought Jean back and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know. For someone that's in it and immersed in it, I'm feeling the fatigue of it because I want to keep up with it.
Mm-hmm.
I want to create content with it, but I'm also like, a dad.
Yeah.
And a full 9-to-5er.
Full 9-to-5er.
So. But what do we got on tap?
Do you want the weird question first or on
Oh,
tap?
weird question. I like
weird question.
Weird questions.
Weird questions.
Ask it weirdly.
If you had to prune variants of yourself to say the timeline.
No.
Yeah, let's go back to
Word it.
Oh, so you directed me, but you don't like the way you don't like my acting choices.
The high pitch. I was trying to catch it. I was trying to catch it.
Oh man, that's wild.
He tried to do it before it went into production. Can't say the same for the Marvels.
Oh no!
If you had to prune variants of yourself to save this timeline, what's the first kind of variants you're pruning?
Oh my! I was about to say something crazy.
I think I don't know. I probably because I think you bold of you to assume that I would save this timeline.
Oh,
there are better ones out there.
Yeah.
But if you had to save this one, right? Like this is the only one you know of, but at the same time you know that there's variants. Like you're happily married,
Mm-hmm.
you're on your way to like becoming a full-time content creator, photographer, all those things. Because if you don't have an answer, I got one.
Go ahead.
Variants of me that like are in every which way me, but they have like a weird thing, like collects Band-Aids. Like they gotta go.
Are these fresh Band-Aids?
No.
Okay, he gotta
Like
go.
everything else about them is normal.
Yeah.
They collect Band-Aids. Like you gotta go. I would go out of my way to find those timelines, and because there's an infinite amount of timelines, like I'll be busy. And fingernails.
Oh,
He just collecting fingernails and Band-Aids. I just like he gotta go.
yeah.
But like who's Band-Aids?
I don't know. I'm just saying he gotta go. And like it's
And
also
whose
not the norm
fingernails?
in that universe, right? Like it's not just like everyone collects.
Everybody
Band-Aids.
collects.
No, it's like
Band-Aids.
this variant of Daniel just collects Band-Aids.
Mm.
Like, bro, you gotta. I will go out of my way to make sure you don't exist.
Yeah. I would say the Dexter Morgan version of me has to go.
Serial killer?
This nigga be doing way too much. You know what I'm saying?
But I mean, he's effective though.
I was supposed to.
I mean, but it's just like
He might be the closest you get to a superhero.
I don't want to be that kind of superhero. He slept with his familia.
He ain't know.
He
He ain't know.
didn't.
He didn't know.
No, this was post no.
I can't speak.
This was post mates. They made it post that information.
Oh well, he got to get pruned then.
Yeah, he got to go.
He got to go.
I would also say the version of me that stayed in Bloomsburg. Yeah, and became a redneck and started driving monster trucks for money and terrorizing black people.
Why?
Part of me feels like he's not. That's not much of a divergent from like you knew what the reality was going to be for you had you stayed.
Right. Well, the first day I was on, the first weekend I was at Bloomsburg, I was told by the many other black students who were veterans there, don't go out tonight. The monster truck rallies tonight. I was like, why? What's up with that? It's like the Klan is out. I was like, oh, you know what? Got you.
Good to know. What about you?
I think I would keep all the evil ones around.
Okay.
You are like a Sith Lord.
For redemption or just
To see what
But
happens.
like, which one's to prune? You getting rid of all like the nice ones?
Probably. It's not that. Actually, there's probably a ton of them. There's probably a ton of nice people.
Well, infinite timelines means that there's
Right.
an infinite amount of all of them.
Oh, I'm definitely getting rid of Spider-Man. Not like Spider-Man, but like the one with the spider legs.
Like Man
he
Spider?
got to go. Yes.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Yeah, he gotta go.
Yeah.
I feel like I go after all the ones that still got their dad.
Wow.
Probably just being like,
Yo, look at producer's face.
you know, character. Just for character development.
Right.
Like if
think we're
they
done
can't
with the weird question. Now we're gonna go to therapy.
I'm just saying.
And,
you know, like
wine.
why should you be the lucky one, right?
What's funny, people at home who are watching, what's funny is we know we're wilding when the producer looks up.
Was that
when he starts paying attention?
Was that too heavy for anybody? Sorry. Thought the fingernail thing was the over the line. Apparently not.
No, that nigga's just weird. That's diabolical.
I think you need to be pruned after, like, I think fingernails
is looking more and more like it.
I'm the one that needs to be pruned.
Fingernail and Band-Aid man can stay. I think,
Oh my god.
I think you.
Oh. The Cowboys fan version of me. Gots to go.
Got to go.
Gotta
That's
go.
fair.
That's disgusting. Yeah.
Disgusting. So today, for what's on tap on the Drinky Drink, we have 6 Mile Cellars, and this is from our Barfly Conchetta.
Yes.
Thank you.
And you've actually, if you have been watching for a while, you've seen her. She was on our Otaku Con
episode. She's
also Woman King.
Woman King review. Yeah,
That was funny. You definitely go back and watch it if you haven't.
I like that movie.
But tasting notes: a blend of Concord and Fredonia with 5.5% residual sugar showcases a fruity aroma with flavors of grape jam and a sweet tart finish. Serve however you like it.
however you like.
However you like it. 6 Mile Cellars. Good. Pour yourself some. This should be fun. Just looking at the bottle alone, it has a nice red color.
And this is a blend,
ruby.
so we didn't have to let it breathe too much.
Should be goobly 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 goobly.
Get that sound.
Should be good. Should be fun.
I never got the swirling motion down. I'm gonna try. I want to spill it.
Yep.
Huh? Hold it by the stem.
Oh wow, that tastes just or not tasted. That smells just like that
Shout out
smells
to the
like
producer. Teach me how to drink wine.
what's his name? Communion. Well, I guess his name would be Jesus, but
Oh, this is definitely reminiscent of.
what is it? 100% juice, 100% kids.
Juicy juice.
This is juicy juice, but grown up. I like this.
I actually smelled the juicy juiciness of it.
The grape jam.
That's that Concord.
This the
The
Concord,
Concord grape
and
coming through.
that grape jam. Big on it. What was the other thing it said?
Fredonia.
What is that? A flower?
No, that's a grape.
Is it really?
But I've never had any other wines with Fredonia in it.
Okay.
But
I'm not familiar with that kind of grape. You know.
I'm enjoying this.
This is
Quite
good
a
time.
bit. This might be my favorite thing of the season so far.
So what would you rate it?
gone.
Right.
4 out of 5. Now, how much? What's the proof on this? Because
Too late for you, bro. You asked that.
We finna find out is what we are about to
It's
do.
like you at the season finale, like so, like that opening though. Who
right.
Who wrote that?
I was just saying, like, because I might take some more, but I don't want to
me
endanger
some more.
myself.
Give me some more.
I'm gonna let this rock for a little bit. I don't think I need to knock this back. I'm gonna be responsible for a little bit.
It's very much knockable, backable though.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
It's
I can
famous.
take that whole bottle to the head.
Apparently. No, that was like really nice. I like it. I enjoy it.
That's good.
What would you rate it?
He said 4 out of 5. I think.
Yeah, 4 out of 5.
What would you rate it?
Taking into account that we've had like more highbrow kind of wines and have had an equally enjoyable time, I'd probably put this at a 3.
Okay.
Just because I know that it's not doing so much by the way of excellence, elegance.
Elegant.
So, but no, it's good. This is a good time. This is something I would share. This is definitely a giftable wine.
Yeah. I think that's the main. It's a easy, approachable, giftable wine that almost anyone can drink. I think it is super sweet. So
definitely dessert wine. Almost.
Yeah. This would not be for people who enjoy a nice, crisp Pinot Grigio, right? Like, this is honestly for people who are probably not well versed into wines, I would say.
This is, you know what it is? This is like a game night wine.
Yeah.
I was thinking something similar. This is similar to the wine that your parents or aunts and uncles snuck you at the barbecue. It's kind of like, you can have some of that. I was like, yeah, I'm a big boy now. It's like,
Statute of limitations is passed.
yo, I'm 33. That was
they
years
can't
ago.
do now.
All that being said, 3.8 for me. It's nice. It's fun. I'd get it again. You know?
Yeah, I'd definitely get this again. This is one I might keep in rotation. Just being like, oh, would you not want the hard liquor?
right.
We got some of this.
Yeah.
But yes, moving on.
Moving right on. Let's talk about Loki.
Let's
Season
talk about
2.
Loki.
As of this recording, it's over.
Mm-hmm.
So
Completely.
if you haven't watched it, sorry. We're about
Right.
to talk about it.
We are.
If you have watched it, come on back. You know, I mean, if you're seeing it now, then you're
You
an
got
ascended
you had a
barfly.
lot of time,
Yeah.
sir.
So,
Ma'am.
and if you're seeing it if you're seeing it not now, but in the future,
Hey.
then pause, go watch it, come back. Tenet, right? So to start it off, I'll say I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the series finale. I think they did a good job, and I can't wait to hear what you say about time travel. But I will say, as soon as he, when he got back, and Victor made it, I was like, oh, it has to be him. Like, it was like, there's no way, because I think he got back and Victor made it. I think it was like,
Oh, we just jumped into
20
spoilers.
yeah.
Spoilers.
I think he just got. It was like 20 minutes in the actual like series finale or season finale. Well, I think it's a series finale.
It's over.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah, I think it was like 20 minutes in, so I was like, oh, there's too much time left. He has to be the one. Like,
Right.
I don't know how they're gonna set it up. I don't know how they're gonna do it, but I know he has to be the one that like fixes it or goes out on the loom somehow, some way. So no, I thought that was really cool. I was watching New Rock Stars, and this guy, I can't remember his name. I think his name's Corey. He's a big comic buff, and he was like, in the actual comics, Loki meets people called Now and Then, or representations, personifications of now and then.
Look at you learning about comic books.
I do what I can. And that he was in the House of Ideas.
Yes.
And so it was cool that in the show, how they represent that is with the time traveling of him going to now and then in the past or whatever. And that the House of Ideas was like the actual literal like creation of like timelines and stuff like that. So, and he goes into it. It's a really good video. It was a really good segment of a video that like he actually was the best part. But I thought it was really cool to see all that come together, and I think that they did a good job with that season, with this series in total. I do think it's one of the best MCU and not for nothing Disney Plus IPs out.
Yes,
I agree. Now you got to hold on. You have a full review on your page.
I do.
So before you do, don't give us all of it because you want to make sure you get the views.
well,
So you know,
yeah.
but
So are we doing just a season finale review or a season review?
let's do a season review. I think, but you know, condense it a little bit.
Yeah, I can condense it very easily. Obi was the best new character that was added to this show. Ke Huy Quan was great in this entire season. I'm so glad to see him in more stuff. Jonathan Majors was phenomenal as Victor Timely.
This makes me sad.
Yeah,
It makes me sad.
yeah. Like it was just really like because every time I run into Jonathan Majors in a new thing or in a new role or a new aspect of a role, I have to get used to his acting because he's very much an actor's actor. So he just be doing stuff. I'd be like, yo, relax, and then I get used to it. So yeah, so him as Victor Timely was great. Sylvie was cool. She didn't have much to do this season, and yeah, the only thing I was disappointed in before I get into the things I love was the use of Miss Minutes and Ravonna Renslayer. I thought Miss Minutes, they didn't know what to do with her.
Underutilized.
Yeah.
Although I'm glad with how Miss Minutes' story ties up, but I'll let you finish.
Yeah. So I think that yeah. So the way Miss Minutes was used, she went from I always knew she was evil, but then she went to a lovesick AI thing, and then it just kind of like they didn't really know what to do with her. Ravonna Renslayer, I'm not as upset about. It's just that she didn't have quite literally anything to do. They did that one interrogation scene, and that was it.
Yeah.
Right. And then she disappeared into the last episode. I know that I believed that she was going to be a big part of the future. Without her counterpart, I don't know how much she matters anymore. But so let's get to it. The time slipping Loki situation. I at first was annoyed, but then I loved it. The more it went on, the idea that he went back in time to learn quantum physics and just spent a bunch of time back there was dope. He's a god. He doesn't age like us, so he had all the time in the world. Like he not only did he have all the time in the world as far as time slipping, but he also doesn't age like us. So it was kind of like, you know what I mean? It's probably like dog years of like 3 or 4, whatever, in reverse. But yeah, Loki coming back, just like you said, Victor Timely doesn't save the day. It makes so much sense that Loki would save the day. That the show's called Loki, right? And with all that power in his hands, takes the timelines, revitalizes them, sits upon the throne. I know for a fact that he's going to get bored in about 24 hours. He's like, yo, I need to find a way to automate this because all humans need to find a way to automate it. I got to find a timeline to tie up the other timelines together, you know what I mean, into a little bushel of timelines. Maybe I'll keep my hand on it as I walk around here, and it all connect, but that's a whole nother story. But yeah, I did think that this was a fitting end for Loki because he essentially won by losing. He always wanted to be around people who didn't want to be alone, but the only way for him to win was to be alone. And the last thing I'll say is this, because I don't even think I said this in the review. Maybe I did. The He Who Remains thing, this see you soon, actually ending up him saying, no, I will see you soon. Like, I'm not playing with y'all niggas. This is not a metaphor. Like, you will be back here, and we will have this conversation again. I thought that was a masterful play that, honestly, I did not see coming. So, yeah, I really enjoyed this season. And I've really enjoyed this series. The series was a great series that I'm glad ended well. It's very difficult to end things well, and I believe that this ended well.
2 things. 1, you did touch on that in your review.
Okay.
2, the guy Corey from New Rockstars was like tinfoil hat idea. He thinks that Kang actually even orchestrated him, Loki doing that.
I wouldn't be
because
surprised.
now he has more timelines and more time to conquer.
Yeah.
As King the Conqueror, and I was like, that's so cool. I don't think it's gonna happen. Whenever I hear somebody say something that's really cool, they're like, I would watch that. Yeah. It's not it would be great, but it's not the thing.
We need the scene of he's up there because I put him there. Like that would be dope. I would love to see it.
He also talked about, to your point about Ravonna Renslayer not being used, it would be dope to see if that in the Kang dynasty, that's where you see Kang have that I guess vulnerability or that thing of like, I can't be with the woman I love, and that's what like starts his villain origin story or something like that, and that's how you get like the Conqueror and all the things.
Yeah. Which you do in the comics. multiple times they keep intersecting.
Sure.
He keeps finding variants of her, and they love, they fight together. Something happens, whether it's her death or whether it's his ascension. They can never stay together in time. So,
but like to see that on the screen and see
would have been nice, but I don't think we need it now.
Well, this is what he was saying.
Kind of did through a flashback, but not the way we would want to.
Right. What he was saying is that we would see that. Would we see that in Kang Dynasty?
No.
Like the movie where it's like you get to see that backstory of like, or that because you could just do a bunch of time hops of like this reality, like they never like meet up or whatever, and then maybe that Kang keeps going to different realities and seeing that, and then he's just like becomes broken. It's like, well then F it, I guess I gotta go all in on this conqueror thing.
I mean, his mind is fractured because he has lost concepts of time. One thing that's often talked about in the science of humanity is that time is what drives us forward. It's also the same thing that humanizes us because we have memories. You can't remember something if you keep jumping back and forth and changing stuff, and then you know. So you are crazy to do that. But everyone's good because we about to get nerdy up in this. Producer, real quick, drop that fan because it's getting warm. But
that's that Derby Red in you, boy.
Setting my blood ablaze.
Oh boy,
but
that's crazy.
This camera, like I said, let's get nerdy for a second. Loki currently exists in what I believe to be the 4th or 5th dimension. So therefore, there's no more time. The concepts of most physics don't exist. Everything's more so allegorical or metaphorical.
It's metaphorical.
That
you're saying where he is now,
where he
left
is now,
him, like where
where Loki ends is where Loki will remain. One, because
Loki who remains. That was from New Rockstars. I can't claim that, but
okay. You want to talk about your own podcast for a second? I'm kidding.
No.
No. But Loki who remains is creative. However, he who remains and Loki exist in two different realms, because technically he who remains exists at the end of time. Loki exists out of time, like beyond that. So that's like when you see those doors open up and like the sky.
It was a rip in
like a rip.
But it looked like it was a rip, but it looked like the same place. It looked like a variant of the same place where he who remains is, or was.
But
Tenet.
Sure. If you remember the way the timeline worked, is when they got to the end of it, it's just all like frayed and kind of creating the aura behind him. Where Loki's is more so just like he kind of created that space for himself. He exists in the same kind of realm as like Eternity and Living Tribunal and stuff, characters like that. Which makes him now the strongest MCU character.
True.
Who can't fight.
Right.
True. Like he won't be able to fight.
Oh, so they like took away his power
by giving him a promotion. So
which he
call back.
It's almost as if he's black or something.
Almost. He was blue. So
look at you, Proud Family.
Maybe. So that being said, I couldn't give the whole series as a whole a 5. One, because they muddied so much of the time travel stuff in the first few episodes. However, bringing it to a close the way that they did so perfectly took me from giving this a 3 to like a 4.5. So,
take it.
Jonathan Majors is phenomenal. The dialogue messed with me a little bit, but it was intended to do so. Of like, how many times we had this conversation? And he was like psych, and he was like psych, and they was like psych, and it was just a lot of. He's like, you thought we had this conversation before? No, we did have this conversation before. Oh, this is why I like you. it was so much of that, and I was like, I appreciated that.
Yeah.
Largely due to the fact that like that's how Kang is often written in the comics. This Loki has suffered so much that he can't be the playful, deceitful Loki as much.
Right.
But they made sure to kind of bring all of that full circle. Honestly, you could have just had episode 6 be slightly longer, make it a 2-hour movie, and we would have had it. Because there was a lot of filler stuff with this going back to Chase Sylvie to the McDonald's. And you're like, well, I didn't need that.
You didn't chase it to make. Are you talking about throughout the whole season?
That was episode 3?
Mm-hmm.
You're talking about the season. I thought you were talking about the series.
I'm saying if you say series finale, extend it to like a 2-hour episode, or make it a 2-hour length movie, you have essentially what Loki season 2 would have been.
You're talking about turning the entire season into a movie. I can see that for sure.
Because you would have actually felt the farewellness of it all, without kind of feeling jarred into a farewell. Because I think a lot of people were like, what does this set up next? Does this set up this? And you're like, no, this is the end of Loki.
Yeah, I think like
my man's been working at it for 14 years.
14 years.
All right. Man was 28.
Yeah.
He looks all of those 14 years.
I feel like if
they put this man in loafers at the end, I was like,
if the fan who is paying it, I don't be like, I'm trying not to be condescending. If the fan who's been watching a lot of television over the course of their lives would have watched this episode and is familiar with the MCU, I think they would have surmised there's no way that this is continuing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You also get the opportunity now to see other variants of Loki. The House of Ideas story allows for now Loki to be
a kid.
Not just a kid, but also, what's the correct word? Like Jordan's character in Gen V.
Jordan? Oh.
Like they're able to change their gender and all of that. And so it's... And in the comics, Loki, while he has this ability now of being the god of stories, he's like, I don't want it. So there's a lot more. That's a lot more opportunity for the comic book character to still kind of play in the main continuity of things. He has been on the Defenders team where they've like went beyond the realms of like even the writers. If you're familiar with like the way the comic books work, House of Ideas is technically where
the room where it happens.
The writers and creators of comic books have left their ideas. So I don't know how far New Rockstars went into it, but the House of Ideas is pretty much every character's story is complete. Loki's is the only one that's incomplete because he can look through the pages and they're blank. Thus allowing him to write his own story, but also making him responsible for everybody else's. So I think this kind of setup allows for Loki to be remembered, at the same time not needed to continue on the continuity of the MCU. Yeah.
Do we think that he is addressed in a major film like King Dynasty or Secret Wars?
I think he'll be alluded to, but I don't think we see him again.
Yeah. Okay. I don't think we see him again.
Maybe by the time we see him again, he's a specter of himself, a former shadow of himself.
Maybe, depending on how they do Secret Wars, from what I've heard. But because, once again, the idea sounded really cool, I was like, that's probably not going to be it. I don't know how they're going to do it, but I don't think it's going to be that.
Secret Wars, not to spoil too much of the Marvels, they explain what's really going to happen for the Secret Wars in the movie, in the Marvels, with like tears in reality and like things coming together. Yeah. But we won't talk about that too much.
Right now.
All right, moving on. What else we got?
Street Sharks and other TMNT variants.
Awesome.
So, for anyone who's aware of what has been going on this season, Ken has been trying to talk about Street Sharks, and we've been shutting it down responsibly because we should
responsibly. It's hilarious.
I was
Street Sharks.
but the fact that you kept inferring it, I was like, well, let's talk about it and see how we can talk about it.
I like saying Street Sharks in the same way John Mulaney says Street Smarts.
Street Smarts.
Street Sharks.
You're such an idiot, but sure.
Street Smarts.
Street Sharks and other clones like Street Sharks.
Mm-hmm.
And now I know you don't do a lot of ranking, but if we had to talk about clones
we can rank this.
of
This is what we can rank.
I want to.
If we had to talk about the clones,
So that makes it okay.
I want to be a team
everything's
player.
fine
I
now.
want to be a team player.
Now, to be fair, for anyone that may not be familiar, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was a comic book series by Laird in the 80s and got famously popular through its 80s cartoon, which actually didn't do a lot story-wise for the characters.
It was a different time.
Yeah, it was 80s. 80s. If you were a cartoon in the 80s, you were designed to make toys.
Right.
So how
And boy, did
how
they.
dumb successful they were.
Yeah.
All these other creators and studios were like, we need our own
We need
teenage
four
mutant
animals.
turtles. Yeah.
We need an anthropomorphic four-man
Right.
team.
And they have to eat something,
Right.
Otherwise, they won't be good enough. So you had what, samurai cats,
Samurai
samurai
Cat.
pussycats.
Yeah.
I think they
Biker Mice from
predate.
Mars.
They don't predate Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Okay, maybe.
Biker Mice from Mars.
Biker Mice. But what did they eat? That's what I was gonna. Because I know Street Sharks did
I don't
the
know.
street.
They were aliens.
Sure, but
Yeah. I don't know if they ate something.
but the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles ate pizza.
Oh, what did they eat? Got you. I don't know why I missed that.
I don't.
I thought you meant eat
Did
to
they-
like
did they-
transform into who they were.
Did they eat
Oh,
cats?
I don't know what. I'm like a quick YouTube search. Will tell me.
Yeah. You also had the Rover Rangers. I don't know if you guys
The
remember that.
Rover Rangers.
They were like a dog team, and
That
Sounds
sounds
like Paw
so
Patrol.
familiar.
no, not Paw
You
Patrol.
talking about Paw Patrol?
No,
You talking about Super Kitties?
I'm not. First of all, my kids watch both of those, so I know enough lore about both of those shows.
I see Super Kitties whenever I go on Apple TV, and I'm like,
Kitties.
I'm not gonna watch this because I know I'm not the target
Is that
audience.
Unicron?
But
Huh?
I felt like I was looking at Unicron.
Hold on. Do you remember the Wild West COW boys?
no,
Wild West Cowboys of Moo Mesa?
Excuse me?
no.
You don't remember this. So I
cursing
watched
at
a
me.
lot of cartoons on Saturdays.
Yeah.
And the Wild West Cowboys of Moo Mesa were weird. They were weird. It's a weird thing.
It looks weird
From
what I'm seeing.
I'm going to send you this link so that way you can bing.
Yeah.
What else did we have for clones? Avenger Penguins. I don't remember that.
Whoa.
Stone Protectors. They were the trolls before trolls. They were like,
Oh wait, you
Muscle
talking about
League?
the one with the big old eye?
yeah, and they had
Oh,
they
man.
were all dressed like pro wrestlers, but they
I-
were just trolls.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you know that's what the world needed, an action show for the trolls.
Yo.
Uh,
So I know they're not animals.
Mighty Ducks. You remember Mighty Ducks on
Oh
ABC?
yeah.
Mighty Ducks was that.
Now that was fire, and the theme song was fire.
I almost would say I like Mighty Ducks more than I like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Okay.
But you can't do
That's a wild
that.
statement.
You can't say that because there's so much more content for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles,
Mm-hmm.
and they establish so much for the lore of nerddom.
If I type in what did biker mice from Mars eat and it's cheese, I'm gonna be very upset.
Well, I mean, if it's like irradiated cheese,
Radiated cheese.
Mummy's Alive. You remember that?
I do
That's what I was
remember
gonna
Mummy's
say.
Alive.
They're not animals, but
did they
Mummy's
eat?
alive.
Did we ever see them eat?
Brains. Just
Brains,
kidding.
probably. They had 4-wheelers. They had motorcycles.
I remember getting some of those toys.
These mummies was out of this world.
They only had like one season, right, or two?
I'm not
They
sure.
didn't last that long.
I feel like when I was young, I didn't understand the concept of reruns, and my memory wasn't that good. So
Me neither.
You could
Because
put
I
me to
remember watching a lot of like
Yeah.
the same Spider-Man episode.
oh my gosh,
Do you think it still holds up?
What's
Street
that?
Sharks, TMNT, like the originals?
The originals.
So I
No.
watched TMNT. I watched like 20 episodes recently. I was having a good time.
But was it
because to me,
was it
Lives Up-
nostalgia?
Lives Up is for sure. Lives Up is relative, and the thing I was surprised by was that it wasn't just a monster of the week kind of thing. There was an actual narrative. Like they were following a narrative. A lot of cartoons, especially when you're talking about the quartet of animals, mutated animals, they were all kind of like, you don't know what day this happened. You don't know if this happened before this thing happened or after this happened. But yeah,
It was big time narrative.
yeah, they had a narrative. They got their truck. They got their car by accident. Like it was the turtle van. They got that thing by accident. It was pretty good. No, there was one time where they just showed up with a helicopter, and I was just like, "Where the hell
Was that
did
like
you
through
get
April O'Neil?
What's that?
Was that through April O'Neil, or was it? Did
They
it,
just
it came
showed-
in as like
yeah.
a turtle copter.
Literally,
I remember
look
when
what I
Casey
got.
showed up. I remember growing up and seeing Casey for the first time, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, he is tough."
Every once in a while, that clip comes up of Casey going for a job interview and him smashing everything in the office because he couldn't get it. But
We
yeah,
don't know how to identify our feelings appropriately.
right.
SWAT Cats. Was
SWAT
also be
Cats
considered
was
a clone.
dope.
I would not put
SWAT-
SWAT cats as a clone. SWAT class as a clone of TMNT.
Yeah.
I feel like they were starkly different.
Were there only like 2 of them?
Yeah,
Yeah.
There's only 2 of them, but they're
and they had a
mutated.
jet.
That's why that's what's so different.
They're dope.
I mean,
Rather than being
no,
humanized animals.
That's
There's
not,
2 of them, and it was a jet, and they were familiar. or
Also,
something.
it was a darker tone than TMNT.
That's it. That's what we're doing. This is the number throws it off. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
At the
It's a big
very
deal.
least,
All of a sudden, niggas can count. It's just what it is. Okay,
all of a
sure.
sudden,
magically, numbers apparently affect.
when you can only have one person watch your back as opposed to 3, it's a big difference.
I don't know, but like there was dino saucers.
never
Excuse
heard of
me.
it.
You don't remember that?
No.
Which is good. 'Cause it was, no one should remember that.
Oh man.
It was just like warring factions of dinosaurs, but they
Wow.
talked
Wow.
and stood upright like humans.
That being
No,
said, though,
I remember that.
65.
I remember there
was-
being a Sega game for that.
Yeah, there was 65 episodes. You
Ooh.
saw at least one.
Well, speaking of a game,
Mm-hmm.
there is a game in development of dinosaurs with swords,
Yes.
and like I've seen it on like Facebook, and like some people have like messaged me the thing, and I was like, honestly though, I'd play it.
Yeah. Which
It-
reminds me, this is slightly off topic, but slightly on topic because we're talking about animals. I don't know why Bloody Roar ended at 2. We should be at like Bloody Roar 65 right now. Bloody Roar was dope.
That's when they change into animals, like
Yeah.
as they're super.
Yeah. The one with there
That's
was
fair.
an armadillo. He used to drill in niggas' chest. That joint was crazy.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Mm-hmm.
I can see that.
Sorry, it's off topic, but
No, I
animals
mean-
and people.
But I meant to say Road Rovers.
That sounds familiar too.
This was on ABC, I think, at one point. It only had 13 episodes.
This all sounds like when the Looney Tunes got like their hardcore animated.
What was that called?
thing.
Looney Tunes Street? Was it
Lunatics.
Lunatics?
It was
I
Lunatics.
enjoyed that, even though everybody
really
else
enjoy
hated
Lunatics?
it.
Everybody else did
Everybody
hate it,
else
and I was like,
hated it.
this could be something.
This is fun.
This could be
I was
good.
having
I
a good
feel like
time.
as a kid, yes.
Yeah,
You're like, okay.
they were extreme.
Right. So much of the 90s. They screamed 90s, right?
Right.
Early 2000s.
Everything was extreme
We're
in the
like,
90s.
They had
They were
skateboards,
extreme.
lasers.
The Street Sharks had roller skates. These niggas was not playing with
It's
y'all.
not enough, bro. I understand your love for it, but
They bite, they fight,
one of them wasn't even
they
a shark.
chew evil with all their might.
Wasn't
bro.
one like a whole orca?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not a
One was a
shark.
hammerhead. One was an orca.
All the Marines.
Some people are adopted. You adopted
Just
families.
Think about it, right? You're like the only white kid in a black, a group of black people, and they're just like,
It's
them
teaching
niggas.
us about
And that-
acceptance,
and that
man.
orca's like, I'm not a shark. I'm my own genus.
acceptance.
I don't think that was his biggest.
I would have held that personally.
I don't
Did you
think
know
that was the hill.
It was just him being a teenager.
Did you know that
I'm a mammal. I'm not no shark.
Did you know that the formula that made the Street Sharks from Dr. Blythe was made in Fission University? Okay,
How much wine did you have?
Fission, right? As in science fission, but it's fission as in fish. Fission University. Did you know that? Did you know that the bad guy traveled back in time, and instead of like conquering the universe, just got another version of himself so he could partner with him because he needed double the knowledge.
That's smart.
Yeah, it's not smart. There's so many other things you could do to go back in time to get yourself.
But you can just get yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Street Sharks does not hold up for me.
No.
It doesn't. And I went back and watched
They
episodes.
swam
because
through
we
the
were talking about
concrete,
this.
my boy.
Still.
They swam through the concrete. Property
Yeah,
damage.
like they're the least helpful version of like these clones.
While that may be true.
They also like for whatever reason appear to like never have money. But
They're
eat,
teenagers. They're broke.
but
and
also
they're sharks.
eat
I was about to say
monster
what
loads
job?
of like hot dogs.
Who
And
gonna stop them? This is the price of me saving your town. I'm gonna eat.
you know who went and bought? You know who went and purchased the food that they devoured? The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Really?
You see them in shops eating pizza.
Oh. I
That's
mean,
not true.
No, you do. There's a whole episode where they're in a pizza restaurant,
That's not.
and I put it on my kids. I'm telling you.
that you don't need to do that.
Oh, is that too extreme? Is that the line for you guys? I thought the line was when I was like, I'm gonna get rid of all my dad versions of my.
There's a lot of
you
lines.
need to be pruned.
I'm the drama.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
I think that's the case. I think that's what we're learning.
But
Season 7, episode 9.
One was called Big
Dance the
Tuna.
drama.
Yeah, one was a hammerhead. That was my favorite one.
but one was an orca though, bro.
I think that might have been
It
my
teaches
favorite one.
us about acceptance.
Oh, you can be a shark because you identify as one.
Yes. We're the Planeteers. You can be one too. Saving this planet is what we came
you
to
jumped
do.
to a whole other show.
Looting and polluting is not the way. Here's what Captain Planet has to say. The power is yours. We're teaching about inclusivity, okay, and personal responsibility on the planet.
First of all,
Somehow.
now if we're jumping to Captain Planet, those children were terrorists. Okay,
Whoa! Where are we going?
they were. You don't get them all these powers and be like, Earth, wind, fight. No,
Weren't they fighting for
yeah.
no.
humanity?
So they were fighting governments. They were breaking the law.
They're fighting against pollution.
They were breaking the law.
So what?
If we're talking about it, they were breaking the law.
The Dora Milaje has jurisdiction wherever they please.
They are not the Dormilangers. The Planeteers were breaking law.
So what?
Okay,
Sometimes you gotta break
solve the infrastructure.
So what you want? You want the Sokovia Accords on everybody?
No, I'm just saying they broke the law. If we're going to
Okay.
talk about it, they were literally terrorists.
What are you going to do with a magic genie that's formed by 5 rings? What are you supposed to do?
I'm not
Sit at
responsible
home
enough
and
to
clean
get
up your
one of those.
neighborhood? No, you go clean up their neighborhood.
For nothing, the one kid literally has the power to control humanity's emotions.
All right, heart.
Right.
But he never abused it.
Still,
He's a good-natured kid.
big
man.
red flag.
That's not a red flag.
Big
It's not,
red flag.
That's not his.
That's what you
that's
do?
not his trait. That's
That's what
the
you go
power
do.
ring that he
You
got.
go give the ring to control humanity's emotions to irresponsible teenagers. What you
That
do.
sounds
All right, so
like
put
Mother
Professor Earth's
Earth's
in jail
problem,
forever.
not his problem.
Yeah.
You're gonna choose him. You're gonna get mad at him for being promoted. That's wild.
Yeah.
Sure.
So put Professor X in jail forever.
Yes.
Well, I mean,
Also, he is also a problem.
but he chooses to use his power for good.
No, you weaponize kids, you're
No,
a problem.
Only Mogi does. That's his name, right?
Yeah.
Mogi.
Mowgli?
Mowgli.
Mowgli?
No, the dude with the heart.
Oh yes,
Is that his name Mogi?
I don't remember
Emoji?
that.
yeah,
I
it
don't know.
sounds
I
familiar.
don't want to.
I could just
Yeah.
be like,
Yeah.
It could be.
No,
it's
that sounds right.
I could be being problematic at the moment.
You could
but
be. It's potentially a problem.
I mean,
Yeah,
no
the one
more
who
problematic than
controlled the
you.
earth was from Africa.
No, yeah.
Well, that's where you bless the rains.
Oh, that's true.
We've reached the end of this episode.
No, too far. Too far. All right. The
The quest items?
The
What is
quest
it?
item.
I hope it's a sponsorship. It better help.
It's a robe of therapy. You put it on, you feel some love. I think that's. I'm just leave it there. Robe of therapy.
That's
if I want to.
A warm robe of therapy.
We're gonna put the weird question down in the description so that you guys can. Yes, sorry, producer was like, you're looking at the wrong camera. We're gonna put the weird question down in the description below, and we hope that you will also answer it. We want to know what variants you decide to get rid of, and hopefully they're better than my answers.
And tell us who you thought was good, or what you liked about us, or what you you liked about us.
Should we do this again?
Yeah, let's keep the comments positive. You want to leave on a good note.
Yeah.
Maybe for the questions from the barflies. Yes, we're gonna wrap that up. Thank you. My brain reminded me. Questions from the barflies is the final episode of the season. If you have not yet given your questions in the Discord, make sure you do that. And if we get enough questions, that's the episode. If not, we might do this activity again. I think this was fun.
Yeah, this was good.
No ecstasy for you.
Okay.
And
You're just
Can't
so
stop
advanced.
and we always appreciate you guys joining us and supporting us. If you are not following the Patreon, please do so, because you likely missed out on the clips that you don't see. So, as we always like to say here, yeah, have a blessed night.
Make it.
Make it.